Speaking of killers and shooters, the Batman shooter now is being accused of saying that his therapist brainwashed him to commit that crime in the Aurora, Colorado movie theater. This is kind of a controversial, weird thing, and we need to kind of evaluate the information here. There was a drug-abusing inmate who spent some time near James Holmes in a cell, okay? His name is Stephen Unruh. And he spoke with the Denver Westward and said that he had a 4-hour conversation with James Holmes in jail on July 20th after he was brought in for allegedly killing the 12 people and shooting 58 others. Now, they were in different cells, but Unruh says that he heard Holmes slamming himself into the wall and that by yelling he was able to have this conversation with Holmes. And he alleges that Holmes said, "My therapist brainwashed me and programmed me to execute this killing." Also saying that Holmes said, "I felt like I was in a video game when he was carrying out these attacks of shooting all of these people in the movie theater." Now, it doesn't appear that this is necessarily reliable testimony from Mr. Unruh, because police indicate that the layout would not allow for this 4-hour conversation to even take place, the layout of the prison or the jail where they were being held. So we have some question here. And I have to say, a story told to us by a drug addict criminal reporting what a psychotic individual told him may not be that reliable. I mean, do we really need an investigation to figure that out?
If it were me making a decision as to whether to throw this out or not, it would be thrown out.
Certainly, I don't believe that there's anybody suggesting that this is going to be testimony of any kind,
right,
but it's just being discussed. So that's what we're hearing. Now, let's just evaluate it at face value for a second. Do any of us believe the idea that it would even be possible for a therapist to program this man to kill? Maybe that's not the right word. I mean, certainly people have influence over others, but how do you even react to a claim like that?
Just sounds completely absurd.
Natan, what do you think?
I don't know, the Manchurian Candidate. I don't know. I don't know if it's really possible. Certainly, someone who's mentally unwell is probably more susceptible to suggestions like something like this if it happened. But I don't know if I really buy it.
Right.
Well, I mean, we do know that you can program someone to kill. It usually starts with getting them at a very young age, and then they end up with a bomb strapped to themselves at a bazaar in Kabul. And then boom. So it can happen, but this doesn't sound like
unlikely that a therapist who just saw him a few times in college would be able to program him that way.
Right.
Yeah, interesting. Listen, today we're doing a bonus show. I know that we may not mention this often. Some people might not know, Lewis, that we have a bonus show, but there is a bonus show. Lewis hosts it, and we discuss a bunch of great stuff on it. Today we'll talk about some email chaos going on at NYU. We'll talk about newly confirmed effects of chemotherapy on the brain, and we'll also talk about some death sentences over that Muslim film. We'll talk about that, plenty more. Stay tuned.
The David Pakman Show at davidpakman.com.